Okay, after you learn about listening comprehension section and also structure and written expression section, now we're going to move on to the last section, which is reading comprehension section. So, for a brief introduction, the purpose of the reading comprehension section is to test the knowledge of the meanings and uses of words in written English and the ability to understand a variety of reading materials. The reading topics are taken from general and formal English. Here, in the reading comprehension section, informal and conversational language is not tested. Okay, so it is pretty much different with listening comprehension section, which also focuses on conversational section. Okay, so now that's for the brief introduction for reading comprehension section. The second one, I will tell you about the general strategies for reading comprehension. Okay, number one, use your time wisely. I say this in every section in PTESOL. However, here you have pretty much time. Well, you have 55 minutes to read all the passages and answer 50 questions. Well, 55 minutes for 50 questions. Well, it is pretty challenging, but you have 8 to 11 minutes on each passage and each questions. Okay, so that's the first one. Use your time wisely. The second one, read the first and last sentences of the passage to establish the topic and main idea. If you think that the passage is too long, you can just directly read the first and the last sentence to establish the topic and main idea. At least you get the big picture of what the passage is talking about. The third one, you can read actively and concentrate on reading for information. So when you read actively, you actually look for information. Okay? So, and the fourth one, this is very important. Before you are down because of the long passage, because of the long reading passage, you need to identify the types of questions before reading the passage. So if you already know the types of the questions, you don't really need to read the whole passage. Just see what is the question looking for, and then you can find, and then you can read actively for information that is being asked in the question. And the last one, guess. Guess if you do not know the correct answer. Okay, so if you think that you are unable to answer, just guess which one is the correct answer for you. Okay, so that's for general strategies. Moving on to the question types in reading comprehension. In the reading comprehension section, there are 5 or 6 passages, in total, and each passage has 400 until 500 words. Each passage is followed by 8 to 12 questions. Okay, so there are 50 questions in the reading comprehension section. Okay, so there are a lot of types of questions. Number one is basically they ask about the main point that the author makes in the passage. The second one, you can find the question related to what's stated in the passage. The third one is inferences or prediction. And the fourth one is looking for the closest meaning. Okay, so now let's move on to the checkpoints and how to ace the reading comprehension section. Let's move on to the first checkpoint, which is skim and scan. Okay, let's move on to the first checkpoint, which is skim and scan. The reading skills of skimming and scanning are very important when you need to read quickly for information, You cannot really spend your time trying to figure out one by one word when you are in a task, So it means that skimming and scanning are very important. Skimming means reading quickly for general meaning. You skim the reading material to discover the topic, main ideas, and general organization of a passage. The third one, scanning. Scanning means knowing what information you need to find before you read. You scan when you are looking for a fact or a detail or a particular vocabulary word. Okay, so when you scan, you find a specific information, specific keywords. Okay, for example, here I will read the question first, and then I will read the text. Okay, I will read the passage. Number one question, the first question is, what is the passage about? And number two, how many books were published in the United States last year? Okay, so for question number one, it is included as a skimming. Yeah, when you find this kind of question, then you need to skim because the question asks about what is the passage about. Okay, so after this, you read the first and the last sentence. Okay, the first sentence. People are still reading books, and lots of them. Okay, and then the last sentence, reading is still an important part of our lives. Okay, so what we can assume for that is that this is the answer choices for number one. A, the amount of reading people do. B, book reviews. C, leisure times activities. D, a popular new book. So the correct answer is, according to the first and the last sentence, people are still reading books and lots of them. And the last sentence, reading is still an important part of our lives. So the answer is A, the amount of reading people do. Okay? You could answer this question by quickly skimming the passage. Okay, how about number two? How many books were published in the United States last year? Okay, let's see numbers. Okay, let's see numbers. Okay, there are one number in this text. On the second sentence, the number of new books published keeps growing. Okay, 90,000 new titles in the United States during the last year by the latest industry count. Okay, and then the question is, how many books were published in the United States last year? And then we found the numbers, which is 90,000 new titles. So the answer is 90,000, which is in this choice is answer D. Okay, so here is the strategy that you don't need to read all over again. Just spot which numbers is suitable for the question. That's for the first checkpoint. And the second one is check vocabulary in context. So in the reading comprehension section, test your knowledge of vocabulary by asking questions about certain words in the reading passages. You can answer these questions about the word meanings by using the context of the sentence. So you do not really have to memorize all of the vocabularies in English. That's pretty impossible. However, you can try to check the vocabulary in context. Okay, when you answer this type of question about the word in the passage, you need to scan. Yeah, so you scan to find the sentence that the word is in. Read it carefully and reason logically. Okay, so let's see here the type of question. As used in lines 2 and 3, the phrase submerged in the water means that the animal is... Okay, so now after reading the question, let's move on to read the lines. Okay? Okay, it swims and dives well, but prefers to spend its days submerged in the water with only its eyes and ears sticking out. Okay, so that's it. So, submerged in the water. Okay, the answer choices are A, swimming in the water, B, standing covered with water, C, floating on the water, D, wading in the water. Okay, so for the explanation, all of the answer choices involve water. Thus, you must read carefully to context clues in the sentences. Okay, the sentence states that spends its days in the water with only its eyes and ears sticking out. Okay? Using the full context, we read that earlier, the hippo swims and dives well. Okay? Therefore, answer A, swimming, is not the same as submerged because it says that it spends its days in the water with only its eyes and ears sticking out. So if you're swimming, you're drowning, right? Like the eyes and the ears are in the water. So A is not the correct answer. So let's talk about C, floating on the water. And D, wading in the water both expose more than eyes and ears of the hippo, right? And the answers are incorrect. So the correct answer choice is B, standing covered with water. Yeah, because when you are standing, your ears, yeah, the hippo's ears and the eyes are appearing. Okay, are appearing on the surface. Okay, so that's how you learn, and so that's how you use your strategy in reading comprehension section.